Okay. So, are you watching my channel?
I'm not. Should I be?
Well, no, but I'm going to be talking, and when you hear my feedback, like about now, then you know we are live. You hear my feedback? There we go. All right.
All right.
Like. So if you want to give the introduction, you can say it now. Now's a good idea.
We're going into hangout. We're going to talk to a guy about the Church of Satan. At least I think so. That's what was going on. I left for a minute. We're going to pop back in there, see if it comes up again. So I'll see you there, Sydney.
Alrighty.
You ever want to do some hardcore trolling? Let me know. I can put you on some links. Okay.
All right. What was you saying about the Church of Satan? No.
They ever come across you? Okay. Are you wanting? Okay. I've got a friend I want to bring in. Are we going to do it here or in another stream?
Just do it here.
Okay. Hang on a second. Just hold the phone and let me get him in. Okay. Okay, I just sent him the link. I hope he's still up and about. Yeah, he's still online. Okay, and I guess you can go ahead and start breaking it down.
You know what the Satanic Temple is?
Obviously something they built isn't here in the United States. Now, like I said, I will come off first with the disclaimer that I don't have enough knowledge other than the reports of SRA and some of the things that were found out, which may not be directly linked to LaVey, but when Christian gets in here, he'll be able to elaborate more because he's studied up on it. He's well versed.
Well, the Satanic Temple isn't a build, and it's not just one temple. It's an organization.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
I would assume they have.
Obviously, it has to be a temple too, though, right?
They probably have more than one. I would assume.
Okay.
I mean,
Makes sense.
Let's see here.
Everyone has their granddaddy of them all, you know. You have like the St. Patrick's Cathedral, or you have that thing over in Mecca, you know, or whatever, you know. Each one always has their big one, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a hub, but
Right, a hub of sort, exactly.
okay. So, like, can you see my screen?
Okay, let me get back over. I got him, and I'll see if my boy got it. He said that. Okay, I do believe he should be almost here.
Are you there, Sydney?
America is not a theocracy. End forced motherhood. Is that it?
I'm here.
I mean, these are just pictures.
Yeah.
These are just pictures. This is the satanictemple.com. That's their website. I mean, and it says they've got, find a chapter. So I'm sure they have multiple locations.
Right, like the Ku Klux Klan does, or the Nazi Party. Yeah, find a chapter, find this. I mean, they're different organizations.
It's strange that you would bring those up in this context, but yeah.
But it's true, though. I know it's a little out of context, but.
Yeah, like Baptists have churches all over the country.
Sure they do.
Yeah.
The Catholics all over the world. The Mormons all over the world.
Number of the KKK members probably go to the Baptist churches too. I bet none of them go to the Satanic Temple though.
Well, they had a beef with the Catholics for the longest time, but until they started accepting them, because I guess their numbers were starting to pale. Which is bad wizards that were like, either partial or completely Jewish, you know. Go figure. That's my argument about LaVey too. It always seems like in a key position, whether it was the Klan, the let's see, the NAACP, the Church of Satan, you know, all these little organizations they start up, and then see the LGBT, all this other stuff.
Well, the Satanic Temple,
the Jews always kind of got their hands in this stuff.
Why does everything satanic to you seem to come from LaVey? The Satanic Temple has nothing to do with LaVey.
Well, automatically, that's what everybody thinks. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what you think. That's not what everybody thinks.
I'm not a Satanist, so you know I'm not gonna know these nuances.
There's a difference between being a part of the Church of Satan and being a Satanist.
You just follow me around everywhere, man.
Follow you? I was in here first. You're following me.
What are you doing in my hangout?
Your hangout? What are you doing in my fucking hangout? This is my hangout.
All right, I'm gonna have to snipe everyone again and stuff.
Yeah, I know you're scared of the conversation. Shut the conversation down because you're scared. I know. Don't. Yeah, you got the word is hush, right? Keep everybody quiet. Don't allow it to continue. We don't want the word to get out.
I may have to turn on joining by link.
We know you're scared. We know you're scared, Sasha.
Because it'll probably go between you and him.
You'll be scared when the cops rock up, won't they, mate?
Hey, let's do it live right now. Get on the phone, call them right now. What are you waiting for?
I know that. You know that.
Can't get to my state. There's cops in a few blocks from here. I don't know what you mean. There's
Well, we got sniped. The whole hangout went down.
Yeah, we was in a hang with Vlad, and him and all his.
Well, we got sniped. We got sniped. The whole hangout went down.
Oops. Seem to have lost everything. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec.
We speak. So,
Why?
because he's scared of what I have to say. He's been trying to shut me up for a while now.
Okay. Well, is that fair? I mean, even though Vlad's probably like me, he's not a fan of the, you know, of the Dark Lord. But yeah,
The Dark Lord doesn't exist. He doesn't exist.
Well, this sounds just like another variant. Maybe it's a do as thou wilt Crowleyan type of thing. You know?
The Church of Satan is atheist. They don't actually believe that Satan exists. They don't. Oh, god damn. Fix your mic, man. Holy shit.
Oh, come on. We all got to have a hero. Come on. Vlad, let me add somebody.
Maybe you gotta have a hero.
What's that? There is no heroes. You remember? What was that from Highlander? Yeah.
That Satan exists. See, this is just another attempt to shut down the conversation. He wants to.
We may have to go over to another room. If you want to talk to this guy, you'll have a good conversation with him. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Vlad's. That's exactly what Vlad's trying to avoid.
I want to talk to you, mate.
See? Yeah, and you don't want nobody to talk. It's not just,
Vlad,
not just you don't want to talk to me. You don't want anybody else to.
Wait. wait. Before
You want everybody on Google Plus to white knight for you and fucking avoid the people that you want them to avoid. And, if they hurt your feelings, nobody else should talk to them either.
Okay, this guy you would be interested in listening to because he could debate outbound. And he is a Christian.
He won't.
He's
He
well
won't debate me. He won't debate me. His whole goal is to shut me down.
You would find this to be a very good debate if you let my boy in. He can get that corner talking to me. I can't.
I'm not against it, but Vlad is. That's the problem.
I don't know for sure. Let Vlad speak.
Yeah, he has outright said it. He just said it a second ago. He's saying it himself. He doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't want anybody. He's going to snipe the whole hangout. He's going to kick me, kick everybody. That's what he did on the last hangout we were in. That's why everybody got kicked out of the last one, because he kicked us all out. I'm okay with the debate, but he's not. I'm telling you. That's why he's doing this fucking echo feedback thing.
He's like, what's going on? You know, and I said, hang tight. I'm going to see about getting another room going.
I mean, I don't know how I can get you the link.
I'm staying here with Vlad. You know, I like the new crew that I had.
Well, if you like staying here with Vlad, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get him shutting down the conversation with me. Like, Vlad has decided that you, JT, you have to choose him or me. That's not me telling you that. That's Vlad's choice. That's why he's doing this echo.
Stream, isn't he?
Huh?
He is running the stream, isn't he? It's his room.
He gives. I mean, look, we can make another stream. Just because he's running the stream doesn't mean what I'm saying is untrue. If you want to have a conversation with me, he's not going to allow it. He wants to shut it down. I mean, do you really like listening to what he's doing right now? Do you like the sound he's making? Do you like the sound that he's making right now?
All right, let's go. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta hit me up on the direct message. If there's somebody else in here that can give you the link, can you get JT the link, Bulldog?
Bully, I'll return the favor.
Are you connected to him, Bulldog?
Yeah, he's connected. I got him on my friends list. I can message him.
Right. Well, let's go in another hangout then. Who wants to make it? Do I gotta make?
I got my dog on the team. I got my dog on the team. I guess that's up to my dog. Are you there? Bully? Bully?
Fuck.
Vlad, would it be okay? I put forth the request in your room. Would it be okay?
I sent it to Bulldog.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be fair. No more of this, you know.
Yeah. Man, you want to invite him down?
Like our buddy stream, you know. I'm operating under a new mode of time.
I'm gonna send it to you too, Sydney.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay.
Well, maybe doesn't like Satanism. I mean, that could be the case. Vlad just doesn't like Satanism, so he just doesn't want to have it around.
No. You can fuck off too, Sydney. Get on, make another profile.
Dude, come on, man.
Okay, so it looks like there's another link to go to, so let me go there. See what happens. Let's see what happens if I do something like and then see if that works. Yes.
Hey, Sydney.
Hey.
Are we still live?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Hold on. Hopefully Bulldog can get JT in here.
Well, I've just sent him the link, so he's just got to click on it, that's all.
I almost feel like we should have named the hangout fucking Vlad Part 3. Sasha Part 3, because
I still could, because again,
he made it all about him.
Once you're live streaming, you can change it. You can change the title, change anything. It doesn't. Nothing until you stop live streaming. You can change shit. Until once it stops, then it's you gotta wait.
What an audio mess that was, eh?
So what was going on there actually?
I mean, that was just Vlad trying to, he wanted feedback so that nobody could hear me. I mean, he kind of, I kind of forced his hand because he came in and he's like, oh, I'm going to shut this one down. He basically threatened to snipe everybody again. And I said, yeah, you're scared. You want to shut me up. And I think some of that cognitive dissonance kicked in. So instead of sniping, he just did the feedback thing. Unless that was like a legitimate audio issue, I don't know.
No, I think you're right. Although no, I think he had a legitimate audio issue. He didn't know about it because at the end, when everybody left, I heard him say he was talking and screaming and saying, and I heard him say something like, "You too, Sydney," as if why don't you leave too?
Okay. So who am I here to debate or whatever?
Are you JT's friend?
Yeah, I'm JT's friend.
He's probably trying to hook you up with me. Where's JT at?
I guess he's coming in. He just sent me the link here. Okay, here he is. Here's JT. Hey, JT, what's up?
Did you did you enjoy all that with Vlad?
Well, I didn't even get to see it.
Not you, JT. That fucking audio mess.
Yeah, he was lagging so bad I couldn't even hear him.
Exactly.
That wasn't just lag. There was still tons of feedback. Was it just feeding back for me?
Yeah, but when I tried to talk to him, he was breaking up.
So you're a Satanist?
I am a fan. I'm a fan of the Church of Satan.
Okay, so which type? Because there's multiple types of Satanists. I mean, if I'm debating a Satanist, I gotta know which kind I'm debating.
The Church of Satan are atheists. They see Satan as a symbol. He doesn't exist.
Okay, so you're a Levian. You're a Levian.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I can't say I am a Levian. I mean, I'm a fan of it. I'm not part of the church. You got to pay a bunch of money to join and shit.
Well, Antoine LaVey was he basically copied a lot of his stuff from actual Satanist groups, which he was a part of, actual occult groups, like the OTO and stuff. But really, this debate's going to get a little more philosophical. What makes you think that because really that's just all that is just selfishness, right?
Do as thou wilt. Probably like.
I mean, a human can't do anything that's not selfish.
Well, I definitely agree with you, but I would also say, what really is the point of creating an entire religion based on selfishness? That's just stupid.
It's not. I mean, that's just part of their tenets.
I mean, you can't deny that's what it is.
Part of it is. Look, this is the thing, right? There are benefits that people get from joining a church, and the community.
So what do you get from joining the Church of Satan? The heroin addict of the month club?
Oh yeah, that's real funny. because they're all heroin addicts.
I'm not saying they're all heroin addicts. I'm just saying.
I would love to see that study. I would bet you there's a higher percentage of Christian heroin. I would bet you that.
I bet you there are. But
Hello.
What do you accomplish?
Hello. I would bet that most heroin addicts are Christians.
No, but is it okay? Is it okay to do heroin in the Church of Satan? Because according to the Christians, it's not okay.
I would imagine they probably wouldn't allow it within their buildings because it's illegal.
Yeah, that would be illegal. I don't think they would do that. But
I don't think they have.
Give Peter Ben the link.
What's really the edifying spiritual experience of?
You know, you're jumping. Are you ADD or something? Like you can't even finish. We can't even finish. We can't finish a thought. Like, let's go back to the first thing that you brought.
Heroin addict. Well, I'm not saying that you're all heroin.
The first thing. No, we were talking about how you were like, "What's
they promote degeneracy, though?" Basically, as what
you call it. I would say that the Christian Church promotes degeneracy.
Okay,
well, we're talking about the Satanic Church right now, not the Christian Church.
How does the Christian Church promote degeneracy? Define degeneracy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. It's just that's exactly the degeneracy is just
would you say the Satanic Church is overt?
I think it's bad.
About degeneracy, does it?
I mean, yeah, you got like maybe some pedophiles and stuff, but they're not open about that. And the Bible condemns that.
What the hell? What makes you think they're pedophiles? Where did you get that from?
I didn't say followers of God. No, they're using the good word. Their
abuse, but that's a whole other topic, man.
I can't hear you both at the same time.
Okay, go ahead. Mic out.
You got some bad audio too, Christian.
Yeah, I have to boot back in, dude.
Yeah, my audio's pretty bad here. But my point is that, okay, just to go define your degeneracy of degeneracy.
Of Christianity?
Yeah, explain.
I mean, it promotes rape and murder and
no, it doesn't.
And blind faith and
maybe blind faith, but guess what? Faith has evidence for it, brother. Well, I'm not gonna call you brother. You're not brother. You're going to hell.
No. I mean, see, that's such a that's a false equivalence right there. Faith, look, if you're gonna rely on evidence, don't use the word faith. What's the point of bringing that word into?
Well, no, we rely on faith. That's where faith comes in. But there is evidence to the faith.
It's a driving motivator.
No, there is no evidence. Name one piece of evidence. Just one.
I don't have time to argue all that. I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist, theologian.
Okay, well, I mean, what you're saying is false, though.
There's a guy.
Any evidence?
He's a former atheist. Brilliant guy. His name's David Wood. Okay? And,
say he's brilliant, but I have a feeling you're about to tell me something about him that he's gotten very wrong.
What did he do that he got very wrong?
I don't know, but I have a feeling you're about to tell me what it is.
Well, that automatically indicates
what it is.
He ain't open.
Before he was a Christian, he was a psychopath. But that was before he was a Christian. But let me put this in the side chat. Check that video out. Check out this guy. You like him. And, I'm not trying to, force, just learn. Just try to learn about every topic you can. And then come back to me. In fact, there's David Wood. Here's another guy. William Lane Craig.
Well, also, Christian, he was also telling me that, Satanism...
William Lane Craig is a fucking moron. He's a moron.
Remember what you told me? Satanism...
I've already heard...
That's great intellectual discourse.
Look, how about you go read A Manual for Creating an Atheist by Peter Boghossian. Read some books from Christopher Hitchens. Like, I can throw shit at you. You come
as a true intellectual.
You come at me like I haven't heard these arguments before, and you're like, oh, go look at this. Do you really think there's something in there that I haven't heard before? Why don't you just look? If there's a knockdown argument there. If there's a knocked out argument there, why don't you just?
If you read the Bible, you got to read the Bible in context.
Let him say something, dude.
You got to read the Bible in context.
Let me say something. Why should I trust the Bible at all? Why is the Bible credible at all?
I believe you should trust it. You don't have to.
FreeStartr. Click on one
If you read
subject.
the Bible, read it with understanding. Don't read it with like retard lenses like Christopher Hitchens has. This has been debunked numerous times.
Exactly.
You can't read it without. It's a fucking retarded book that has nothing valuable whatsoever in it anywhere.
Well, that's okay. Well, you just throw away thousands of years of Western civilization, buddy. Thousands of years of Western civilization. Thousands
No,
of years of
Christianity has nothing to do with civilization. If anything, it's slowed down civilization. No, it doesn't. It has absolutely nothing. Nothing.
You are dead wrong.
No, I am absolutely 100% correct. If anything, Christianity slowed down. Christianity slowed things down. We would be, civilization would have advanced much faster, much faster without religion. Much faster.
Throwing Christianity aside, that I could have nothing to do with our culture or the way we developed up until the present.
I didn't say it has nothing to do with culture. It has everything to do with what's bad about culture.
Okay, so having a moral standard is bad. So okay, we just
You call slavery and rape and murder a moral standard?
Slavery, guess what? There was the Christians that opposed slavery. Slavery has been in every culture, not just Christians.
Practiced around the world.
So they didn't even have their own religion then.
When
Okay,
Africans and Middle Easterners and Chinese have slaves,
I would not give a
backed
religion
by whites and white Christians.
saying that some religious people saying that some religious people didn't follow their religion doesn't allow you to give the
The
religion
Bible
credit.
condemns slavery. Jesus.
No, it doesn't.
abolished slavery.
No, it doesn't. Show me one verse
I'll
where he
show you the
condemns slavery.
scripture.
Jesus says, "Obey your slave master."
Dude.
Jesus says,
Yeah,
"Obey him like
but
you
he
would
at the
obey
same
God."
time abolished the law. In other
Obey,
words,
obey him.
well,
Jesus
then you're okay with
upheld the law.
communism, buddy.
Jesus went around telling you have to follow the old law. He said he did not come to abolish it, but to fulfill it. Right. He told you, and when the rich man and when the rich man asked him how to get to heaven, he said to follow the old commandments.
Well, that was to say that you could not fulfill all those commandments and be saved. That's why he had to suffer on the cross, to be crucified, in order to forgive the sin, so you would not have to keep all the commandments.
So you don't have to follow the 10 Commandments?
You
You don't have to follow the 10 Commandments.
You're saying it's okay to
Jesus
kill
died
people.
on the cross, so you don't have to do any of that old
I'm
law.
saying he fulfilled-
So basically, that morality you talked out, we're just going to chuck it all out the window.
Hey, we were supposed to be talking about Satanism, not Christianity.
I know.
I want to hear more about Satanism because that's what you agreed to, and you're going against
I'm
it, going on an attack against Christianity. What I'd have told you, I don't know enough, and I got a guy here that knows a lot about satanic ritual abuse, and you're trying to tell me that, oh, we're Satanists, but we're not doing bad things to people, JT. Bullshit. There's all kinds of evidence. So quit trying to deflect, okay?
I'm not trying to deflect. He was the one saying that I need to go look at these videos, and William Lane Craig, he's trying to.
Advice. I think he's just a fucking idiot.
What the fuck? What the fuck? So he pushes the shit on me, and somehow that means I'm changing the subject, and he's giving me advice.
Let's all relax for a minute.
I'm just giving you advice.
Try to do a
Look, I don't need your advice, all right? You have horrible advice.
one at a time, like Alcoholics Anonymous or something, that format, right? Now, Christian,
I would like to know where your evidence is that the people from the Church of Satan are pedophiles. Show me that evidence.
I didn't say the people from the Church of Satan are pedophiles. I said your criticism of Christianity is like, okay, well, you got pedophile priests in the Roman Catholic Church and stuff like that.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't bring that up at all.
Well,
no,
it's going to be brought up.
This is recorded, right, JT? We can go back, and I could actually go over this video again and show people where he said it.
No, you can't, because I didn't say that.
Well, I know you didn't say anything about pedophiles. I'm saying you said.
Let's just keep the conversation moving.
See, that's what I'm saying. I tried to go back to the Church of Satan and look at what he's stuck on.
No, don't go slamming him. There's an
Why can you say I did? Wait a minute, JT. Wait a minute, JT. Wait a minute. You slam me and say I'm the one changing the subject, but then when he actually changes the subject and I point it out, then you say I'm slamming him. No, you listen.
No.
Listen to me for a change.
You obviously have an issue with Christianity.
Listen to me. Of course I have an issue with Christianity, but I'm not the one that brought Christianity up. He is.
Okay, let's get down to the point before we discuss Satanism, which we're definitely going to do.
You can remain calm. I mean, I do believe Christians being calm and cool. I mean, trying to convey his points, and then you're saying blah, blah, blah on top of it.
What you guys say is blah, blah, blah on top of it. You can quiet down when I chime in, but you don't.
Okay,
I apologize. I have to be reminded by my peers that sometimes I get a little out there too.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. Interrupt me, but just if you're gonna interrupt me, then don't have a problem when I interrupt you.
No. That's okay. That's what I'm trying to remedy.
Yeah, dude, totally. Okay,
let's talk in a more debate type format.
Let me explain something about the interruption thing, right? There's a lot of situations where somebody starts their dialogue with a claim and then they try to build on that claim and they'll talk for 5 minutes building on that claim when we're sitting over here going, that claim is shit. It's a my friend Bulldog over here coined the phrase building a house on a turd. And I hate wasting 5-10 minutes letting someone build a house on a turd. So if you throw a turd out there and start trying to build a house on it, I'm going to interrupt. And if I do that,
you should tried that. We haven't even really had a conversation yet.
I know, but I'm just saying, if I'm building a house on a turd, you can interject too. There's no problem with interruption.
But yet there's disruption when you're trying to talk about something. Then you get scattered and start leapfrogging on other things when you're actually trying to talk about and break down and analyze one element in particular. You see, this is the problem I notice on I've had the same problem too. Okay, I can't cast the first stone. Okay, so anyway, I thought it was supposed to be about the Church of Satan. And you were supposed, with me at least, I said, let me go get somebody that knows quite a bit more about what goes on in the Church of Satan and with the cults that go way back. I stand by this man. I've talked with him before. And then maybe we could have a decent conversation from there.
The way that it devolved from that when we were talking about the Church of Satan was the fact that he brought up that we needed these Christian morals.
Okay, it's water under the bridge. Well, whatever the disagreement is, you were going at Christianity that, society's so fucked up because of Christianity, and then it all went into a catharsis of sorts. Let's get away from that and focus on...
Let me ask you a question here, buddy. What's your name, man? Your name's, you're Outbound.
Outbound,
okay.
Yeah.
So Outbound. Let me ask you a question. What would the ideal satanic society look like?
I mean, I'm going to dislike you because, you believe in something that's very taboo to a lot of us, dude. But go ahead, Christian. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The ideal satanic society. I mean, that society is such a complex thing. That'd be something that would probably take me days to explain.
Well, you should definitely look up the core principles of all the different satanic theologies and then think of how that would look like running the world. What would the ideal... And then come back.
I'm sure the Church of Satan's tenets, if applied, would operate wonderfully. As a matter of fact, the improvements that society has implemented over the last centuries basically follow those tenets.
Okay, what about it?
Especially the American Constitution.
Okay, you're talking about Enlightenment philosophy, all that. Yeah, everyone knows that. But, they would also have Christian backing, too. So, are you talking about, I can tell you some stuff.
A lot of influence. It recognizes Confederacy as being an independent...
What? There's no... See, look, he's bringing up the Christian thing again. And now I have to say, there is... Christian backing...
Let's just accept that. Okay.
What Christian backing does this country have?
Okay.
Like, where's the where?
No one's saying
Let's keep it real focused on the
Where
church.
do you find where do you find Christian values in our Constitution? Where? Tell me where.
most of the people who took part in the Revolutionary War were Bible-believing King James Christians. Okay?
He's right about
The founding fathers were Freemasons and whatnot, and and that kind of stuff.
And what does that have to do with the law that governs this
And then
country?
you have the Schofield Bible that was created not long after.
How did those people's beliefs shuffle in to the Constitution? Tell me what part of the Constitution.
Opposition to slavery.
Freedom of speech. To
The Bible promotes slavery. The Bible.
The process of law. No,
Show me-
dude.
Show me in the Bible.
You don't understand the times when you have nations.
I said name one thing. I said name one thing. Name one. You want to talk about a conversation devolving,
How about speak?
and you want to talk about a.
All right.
Look, you said that you don't want the conversation to devolve. Let's focus on.
Say what you gotta say.
God, you listen.
I want to hear
Listen. You want the conversation to stop devolving. Focus on one thing at a time.
Then why are you here? Why are you here?
Listen.
I get
Listen.
Trying to dictate to us on how to establish a dialogue. When we can just
Dictate to you. You were the one telling me. You dictated it to me. You were the one dictating it to me.
All
You
right,
told
dude. I
me
see
we
we're
needed
running
to do
into
it.
a roadblock here. That's fine.
You told you because you're not following your own rules. You're roadblocking yourself following your own rules. You said you don't want the conversation to devolve. You said we need to focus on one thing. I'm basically repeating that. So give me one thing at a time. I said name one part of the Christian religion that is involved with our Constitution. First thing he brought up was the first thing he brought up was slavery. And I would say,
you don't understand the times back in ancient times with slavery, man, with peoples that were conquered and.
oh, okay, so back then it was okay, but it's not now. So I guess it's subjective and it's changed.
The slavery came from the Bible during the Great Awakenings because they were getting more into the Bible and they were starting to oppose slavery because they realized this isn't a very Christian way to
What
treat
part of the Bible?
People have to figure things out.
Where in the Bible are you getting this from? Where in the Bible are you getting this from?
We get it.
Can you name me a verse?
Why are you breaking it down? Do you want a verse now when you were just asking about the Constitution and the founding fathers?
Because what you're saying is false.
What I'm saying
I can show you. I can show you verses that are obviously in support of slavery, but you cannot.
You have to understand that's the Old Testament.
Oh, I guess God got it wrong back then. I guess God fucked up.
Domini, dude.
Fucked up.
The year of our Lord.
It was not the type of slavery you would see during the African transatlantic slave trade where they just kidnapped people. It was typical.
Kidnapped people. What do you?
My point is, it was warfare based. Okay, it wasn't like
I was trying to tell them you got to understand about the times.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that means America went to war with Iraq. I guess we should have took some slaves.
No, you're retarded. No one's saying that.
I am. You just said it was warfare based. You said that.
People thought differently in ancient times. It doesn't apply to the modern.
Right. They were wrong.
Yeah, man.
They thought differently, and they were in the Bible that they wrote. The Bible that
when Christ came in, he said,
the Bible they wrote that matched the way they thought differently back then was wrong too.
The Anabaptists, who were Bible-believing Christians, who were very deep in the scriptures, they were known to be.
That's why they created successful societies.
Oh, yeah, they were very deep
able
in the
to conquer.
scriptures.
They were able to breed and create things under their religion. But
they were very deep in the scriptures, huh? They were very deep in the scriptures. Very deep.
Higher thought didn't exist.
They were very deep in the scriptures, right?
Ridiculous.
They were very deep in the scriptures, right? Right? Okay, can you name me one verse they were very deep in that led them to believe this?
Dude, you just look up the Anabaptist opposition to slavery.
Oh, you want me to look it up?
Yeah,
You want me
research
to
it.
look it up?
Learn.
Because you don't have one. There isn't one. There's not one.
No, there is. I just can't find it.
What do you want, a Google contest? Or you want
I didn't come in here prepared to ask me about
you can't
slavery. I didn't even think
What
you were
about
going to talk about
satanic
slavery.
ritual abuse and the
Oh,
shit
man.
the satanic church does?
Check.
Okay, and the
Point.
pedophilia and the animal and human sacrifices
Yeah, let's look at
that
some.
you're trying to deny. Okay, what about
You know, Antoine LaVey was hooked up with a guy named Michael Aquino.
I want to know more about this Church of Satan that has everybody's best interests. Okay,
It doesn't claim to have anybody's
the
best
conversation
interest.
was supposed to be about.
It doesn't. The Church of
But you're
Satan
just
doesn't.
using it as an avenue to vent your frustration and hostilities towards Christianity. Let's
The
keep
church. The Church of Satan. The Church of Satan doesn't pretend to have everybody's best interest.
Okay.
It tells you that you should take care of your own self-interest. Because
Okay,
that's
you
that's-
can't live like Rambo out in the woods on your own or with a couple of Satanist people. And
oh, that's a.
expect you're going to make it without working as a group.
Hey, let me drop a bombshell on you. You know, if I have my self-interest at heart, let me drop a bombshell on you. If I'm aiming to preserve my self-interest, you know what? There's one thing I can do that would help accomplish that. I can value somebody else's self-interest and team up with them. That benefits me.
He is right about that. I wouldn't strawman him against that. But I'm saying, like, if the only thing that you have at heart is self-interest, then you're not reaching.
Christian. The way he feels about Christian people and people who are of some type of faith, do you have a problem allying yourselves up with them outbound?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You made it clear. Okay. Then, there's a lot of Christians, Catholics, Muslims, Buddhists, and all this, people of faith all around the world. So I'd say numbers are stacked against you pretty good. Wouldn't you say?
I agree, and I think that those numbers are. I think they're stacking numbers against themselves too. I think they don't realize how detrimental it is for them to be a part of that. I agree. It's a huge problem. It is. And it's worse for me than it is for them because I'm the odd man out. I totally agree.
What do you think about, great kind of attitude of grace and living your life and trying to be like the best you can be and working for the common good of you and your people, all ideologies aside, whether they be religious, racial, national, or anything like that? How do you feel about that? I would figure you would think that's okay. We all have a group dynamic. I mean, we all got to go to work to produce things to keep in this trade system, to keep everything going.
Keep the country running.
Right, to keep it running.
I agree. That's exactly that sentiment right there is exactly why I disagree with religions that say you should kill apostates.
Well, that's the thing. Christianity does not teach you should kill apostates.
We're still developing out of a lot of the ancient beliefs.
You do realize that we're not under theocracy.
Jesus Christ said nothing of the sort.
Thank God we're not under a theocracy.
And Jesus Christ never advocates a theocracy
Satan.
in the New Testament. Well, you can say that. I mean, it's not my right to mess with your constitutional right to go to hell, buddy. I mean, and I wouldn't want to.
Hell is a myth.
Well, I mean, you could believe that.
You don't believe in Idrisil?
Do you realize that's kind of a passive threat? It's a passive threat. It's basically like believe or else.
Well, I'm going to say this to you, Outbound. Where is hell? According to me, where do I think hell is?
I have no idea. There's 7 billion Christians on this planet, and they all have a different opinion about that.
Oh, there's some pagans too.
There's a billion.
I want to ask him something. That's really important.
Jews too,
Well, JT, I really want to ask this guy this.
Go ahead, Christian.
What is the general depiction of hell in media? Where is it generally? Where is it in the sky? I mean, is it in space?
I mean,
how does the media generally show hell? Where is it?
The only place that I could ever think of it depicted was like in the ground, which I guess, you know, when you move away from.
Okay, yeah. So in the ground. Now, how did they know that in ancient Israel that it was hot under the ground? I don't think there are any volcanoes or anything there.
I don't know that they knew that.
Okay, so they didn't know that. They didn't know about, but they knew about hell being under the ground.
I mean, that's where they buried their dead. So.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they knew about burning, if you're, not leaving, wicked, you're going down, buddy.
I mean, aren't there, even if there's no volcanoes, there might be hot springs.
Well, I don't want to sound like
I don't know if there's hot springs in the Middle East, dude.
but we've only been able to drill down about 8 miles. Beyond that, we really don't know what's underneath.
Even if they and like saying that hell's down there, like trying to take credit for
chemicals.
Trying to take credit for the knowledge that there is, heat at the center of the earth is not really fair.
Well, we really don't know. The bottom of the night is just like we don't know when we go where we die. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know.
We have strong evidence.
But there's a lot of heat that comes down from the earth, so that would support, hell being hot.
It's not just that. We know how radio waves react when you shoot them through metal. We know the light that comes off of hot things. There's electromagnetic radiation you can measure.
You're putting science as a religion. There's boundaries here.
It's not science as a religion. It's not science as a religion. It's not science as a religion. You can do this yourself. If you buy the equipment, you can do this yourself in your fucking backyard.
I want to see the actual physical evidence.
Okay, well, then you're going to have to put some money together and buy the equipment.
I'm going to have to wait till the next few hundred years.
I think there might be some videos on
that level. They're still in a state of development.
Yeah, that is very interesting. They mentioned that science. How come they didn't have that equipment back then, but they knew that?
They didn't. Like, this is what I was trying to say earlier. Was you're trying to equivocate hell with a molten core, and those two things are very different.
No, they're not different, buddy. Because that's what they were.
Beyond 8 miles of drilling.
They are very different. Like, you're talking about a spirit.
Question mark for everybody.
You're talking about a layer where Satan supposedly, takes souls.
But from okay, wait a minute, Christian. So all the ancients are fools. I know a lot of people. I've run into this problem here on the internet that everything that they did that led us up to now, all the generations, our ancestors, everything, they didn't know fucking shit. They didn't know what they were doing. And their old legend should, or mythos or everything that they've done should just be disregarded and thrown in the trash.
Yep. Maybe we could.
I don't understand that mode of thinking, Outbound.
Maybe we could keep it. Maybe we could just keep it for historical context, as But other than that, it has no usefulness.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
What do you want them? They're going to think that people like you are going to think the same thing. Wait.
I want to go back to where we already were. I was trying to say something.
Let me finish.
I want to go back to where we were already talking about.
The same thing as you.
You're moving to something new, and I want to go back to what we were saying about the molten core. I want to go back to the molten core because I didn't get to finish what I was saying about that, and you're moving to something new. You're moving to something new, and I want to go back to the molten core. When people imagined hell, the ancients, they were not imagining a globe with a molten core whatsoever. That was not what they were thinking of.
Well, Norse said there was 9 worlds. What do you have to say about that?
You can't accredit the molten core discovery to the stuff in the Bible. Otherwise we would not have been able to later discover it. We couldn't have discovered it later if it was already known.
And scientists say there's other worlds out there and everything.
You can't discover something that's already known. So obviously they didn't know it.
Bothers people. They have no grace to accept
I mean, before we even got to the point where we could talk about a molten core, we had to establish that it was a globe, and the fucking Christian church fought that tooth and nail. I mean, they didn't know. They didn't know.
Dude, all different cultures had a conflict with being flat around, okay? And I'm sick of hearing about flat Earth, okay? We don't know exactly what the core is until you can provide empirical proof of what lies below 8 miles of the surface. Then I will accept it. Till then, I will keep the question mark.
Okay, look, you want me to provide the proof, but I'm not spending thousands of dollars on equipment for you.
You're putting your faith up in science. Have your boys do it for us. The ones that you're regurgitating their science.
Look, see, I have an understanding that you don't have. I don't need faith.
Everybody has their own.
You don't understand. You don't understand how electromagnetic radiation works.
We gotta have respect for one another.
We can shoot these radio waves. We can shoot these radio waves at metal above ground. We have that ability. We can also measure the electromagnetic radiation that comes off of things that are hot. We have those capabilities. We can see how it acts, and we can repeat it. We can repeat it over and over and over and over and over again.
Bulldog, I want Bulldog to talk about the Van Allen belts.
What? See, you're switching to something new again.
I have to, because it has something to do with it. It is kind of somewhat linked, to what you're talking about.
I mean, do you think that they're wrong about the molten core?
What is supposed to be a million light years away? We don't know. We don't know what is below a certain amount and what is beyond and above a certain amount.
Well, we can.
Science knows fucking everything.
We can. Science doesn't pretend to know everything. Science doesn't
development stage.
You just follow the evidence.
Well, what if what if a big?
Have you ever heard of instrumentation being wrong?
What would you say if a big reptilian
wrong?
How come the Bible never changes what it's wrong about?
And equipment improves over time because the others were inferior and they gave faulty results.
Look, I don't necessarily buy every scientific claim that you've ever heard. If like I
profess to know everything, but you got to have a good general idea to take a good approach and to formulate what you think or theories or hypotheses or theories that you support, or actual evidence to prove.
It's the ability to change.
And there's a lack of evidence here of what lies below and what lies beyond. And there's nothing anybody can say that'll convince me otherwise.
It's the fallibility of science and the fact that
give mankind credit. We want to know.
It's the fallibility of science and the fact that you can prove something wrong and we can change our position. That's exactly what makes that mode of thought superior to the Bible, because the Bible claims to know everything, asserts it as fact, and so asserts it as perfection. And is unwilling to improve or move or at all. It's dogmatic. It is what it is, and you have to keep it. You can't change it.
Well, you know what? That's not a bad thing, too. And I'm going to say
yes, it is a bad thing. No, that is a horrible thing.
Look at the Bible.
That's exactly why religion and Christianity have impeded improvement for so long, because it's dogmatic. That is one of the worst aspects of it.
They got over their dogma. They were spearheading scientific research.
Yep.
Yeah, but just because a Christian man engages in science doesn't mean that he's using. It does not mean just because a Christian man engages in science.
All the great minds that come out of them. We're the ones.
You're not listening. You're not listening. That has been refuted so many times. That has been refuted so many times, and it's so easy. Just because a Christian man engages in science doesn't mean that he's applying. Let me finish my sentence. Will you let me finish my sentence?
Go ahead.
Are you going to listen at all? I heard you. I heard you. Listen. Just because how many times do I got to start the sentence? Just because a Christian man engages in science. Okay, anybody of faith. Just because a man of faith engages in a scientific pursuit doesn't mean that he's using any aspect of his faith in that pursuit.
Well,
And
no
and,
one's saying
and,
it,
and
but why is it that
on top of that,
what pursuits are you making, buddy?
on top of that, none.
Seems like a
On
lot of
top
them
of
are
that,
successful to me.
I'm not claiming to have, advanced man in any way. I am not claiming to. I'm just aware of what has. I'm just aware of what has and what hasn't. That's all. Another thing is this. The religions were, especially back in like the medieval times, Christianity pretty much ruled the world. Atheists were actively slaughtered and oppressed. So in that environment,
Christians too, buddy.
What was the proof?
Yes, Christians killed other Christians, but you're missing the point.
Massively
I'm
killed.
not saying Christians didn't kill, that Christians weren't killed too. Yes, they were. That's not the point. In a world where atheists are actively oppressed and murdered, you don't have an environment that's highly likely to allow an atheist to produce an advancement. They're not gonna have an opportunity
Sure,
to.
they can keep them under the hat. What's the argument with the hobos that were closeted?
Wait, what did you say? Keep them under the hat? So basically what you're saying is that an atheist would pretend to be a Christian.
A lot of them weren't. They became dissidents. They were
basically from our standpoint,
They were excommunicated and they
if
were
what
cast
you're
out.
saying is true, if what you're saying is true, if what you're saying is true, JT, if what you're saying is true, then from our standpoint, they would still look Christian. If they were pretending to be Christian, but really atheist, then that would mean from our standpoint, they would look Christian.
They were culturally Christian.
No, they weren't.
Regardless if they believed
You just said they were atheists. You just
they were born into.
they were atheists. You just said they were
Christians that didn't believe. That's all. They're still part of that kind of. It's intertwined with nationality and race. Okay.
I don't know how being
y'all don't get.
How does being
you're a Christian. Where were you born from?
I am not a Christian. I am not a Christian whatsoever. I reject all of the Christian values.
What were your parents and grandparents? That makes you what you are. If they were,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's exactly why I don't talk to not one of my family members.
You're a Christian.
That's exactly why I don't talk to not one of my family members, because I have rejected all of that.
Conflict with me.
Okay. Come on, I want to counsel this dude a bit.
You're a Christian.
You don't talk to one of your family members just over a
Not one. They're all worthless.
That's isolating yourself.
Bro, I mean,
that's like what all writers do with, and Nazis and stuff like that. I've talked with those guys,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Nazi now because of my family's worthless.
You're not a Nazi. I'm just saying. I'll be poor, dude.
I mean, my family has issues outside of their fucking Christian beliefs. Even if they weren't Christian, they're still fucking worthless. They're just fucking worthless people.
Okay. What type of Christian are they? Just curious.
They're all different.
Okay, they're all different.
Okay, he doesn't. Okay, Christian, he doesn't want to really go into that. I can respect that.
I don't have a problem going into that.
Reserve a Christian.
I don't have a problem going into that.
Tell us your whole family backstory.
You will definitely agree, Outbound, that you won't disclose what secular they are, but you will at least come forward.
I already disclosed they're all different.
Okay,
I would say most of them.
It doesn't matter. If one was a Catholic, one was a Baptist, they all worship Christ or follow the doctrine.
I would say that most of them fall into the category of what you would probably call a lukewarm.
Everybody you went to school with.
Okay, like lukewarm Christian, well, then they're not following Jesus Christ. I understand why, that would upset you if they were showing Christian love to you and they were born again.
Try to be nice. A lot of them are nice. They help people all the time. How many times I see Christians?
My mom is a Baptist.
Class ones.
My mom's a Baptist. I don't want Christian love anyways. Christian love isn't even love. I think that they equivocate that word love. I think love would mean, in order to love, you'd have to reject Christianity. You have to reject Christianity to actually like.
You're under a demon possession. I'm going to tell you this. I mean, I love you so much, even though you are a Satanist.
Catholic community services, you know, they put out into the community. They try to actually, the strain with poor people has been so hard on the churches that they were asking for help from them because they were helping all these poor
They don't
people.
rob them.
It's really funny. Come on, man.
Was that get your little thought back then?
Christians really are that way? No way, man.
Look, if Christians really followed their religion, they'd be even worse.
They do. A lot of them do.
No, they don't. And
Okay, explain they'd be even worse. Explain. You're talking about like
thank the Dark Lord that they don't follow their religion.
Oh, you're an idiot, dude. No one.
I have to
Oh,
be.
man. You're unreasonable. I don't even know why I'm talking to you. I'm going to say this. Nowhere in the Bible does it call for Bible-believing Christians to take up arms and form a theocracy. So if you think that that's what following
I
over...
never said that they did. I never said it.
Okay, so love your neighbor as you love yourself. That would be just terrible. Oh, man. Oh, man.
The word love in the Bible is a distortion. Their version of love is, I don't think it's even
this about everyday people that run.
I don't think that it's even fair. I don't think it's even fair to call that love.
That is love, man. Agape love, man.
I don't think it's even fair to call it that. I don't think that. I think that in order to love, you have to reject Christianity.
That doesn't even make sense. Okay, so now you have your own standard of love.
I've helped them.
Exactly.
Dude. That's hogwash.
Throwing rocks at someone till they're dead is not love.
Dude, that's dude.
We're talking about European and American Christians. We're not going back 3,000 fucking years.
They don't follow their religion. They don't follow their own religion.
Dude, nowhere in the Bible does it tell you to, in the New Testament, Jesus even himself said...
He said follow the old law.
No, he said...
Oh, so you don't have to follow the 10 Commandments?
Those are separate.
No, they're not. They're part of the old law. It's all part of the old. What makes you think they're separate? What makes you think they're separate?
So you're against laws against adultery, against fucking another dude's wife?
Laws against adultery.
Develop if you had a bunch of heathens killing, adultery, and all
we should stone someone to death if they cheat.
People need supervision.
I mean,
or also fall into these doctrines that you're going in.
We have laws against adultery.
That would actually reverse.
But they don't. We have laws against adultery. They just don't require you to kill a woman.
Well, you know what? No one's saying that. I'm just saying. That comes from Christianity that we know adultery.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because Christianity says you have to kill her. So it doesn't come from Christianity.
No, because we're not under that.
There's nothing in Christianity. There's nothing.
Christ here. He never said that.
He even forgave an adulterous woman.
I want you to pull it up then. Prove me wrong.
If any one of you has no sin, then cast the stone. And none of them could cast the stone.
That's Look, let's break this down, right? Okay, I love that story. I love that story because it just shows. It shows Jesus's. It's like Jesus's ultimate contradiction. It's his ultimate contradiction.
It's not a contradiction.
Because, yeah, it is. It definitely is. Let's break it down. So, he says, "He who has not sinned cast the first stone." Right.
That was the harlot. Remember?
Right. She cheated. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's break. So if you have sinned, that means you can't throw a stone at her. Right. Now, what sinning is basically is breaking the old law. Breaking the law is sinning. That's what the old law is. It's telling
you have what laws though. I mean, they protect you from people.
I didn't say that. You're straw manning me.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're straw manning me.
Just continue.
I didn't say I have a problem with laws. I said what sin is is breaking the old laws. That's what the laws were for, was to tell you what's right and wrong, what you should do, can't do, what's sin and what isn't sin. So if you have sinned, if you have broken the old law, then you can't cast a stone, is what he's saying.
Mhm.
Right. So now part of the old law is that you are supposed to throw the stone and kill her. So what Jesus is saying basically is, if you've broken
He
the
was revolutionary. He was cleaning up the fucking house at the time.
okay, you're sidestepping my point. You're sidestepping my point.
Plus, Outbound, you also forget he was
Do you even know what I was about to say? Do you know what I was about to say? He's basically, if you broke the old law, you can't cast a stone.
You're saying he's contradicting himself.
Yes. No, listen. So basically what he's saying is if you've broken the old law, break it again. Because it's against the law to not throw a stone. If you're supposed to stone her according to the old law. So if you've broken it before, break it again. Meanwhile, the same man, Jesus, runs around saying you're supposed to follow the old law.
Oh, you're so retarded.
Okay, Jesus was a mischief maker, right? He just did all this stuff just to, contradict and get people's goat.
Didn't do any of the stuff. It's all just a bunch of fucking word games, and it's a myth. It never happened.
All right, he didn't exist, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's been debunked so many times. Not even like
No, it hasn't.
Scholars
believe
that, dude.
Yeah.
They acknowledge Jesus
Because they're fucking morons. They're just, all they're doing is...
Even Richard Dawkins and all those faggots acknowledge Jesus' existence.
Well, that's where he fails. That's where they fail.
Oh, I'm so revolutionary, man. The movie.
It's been debunked very simply through Roman public record.
Yeah, 200 years after he supposedly lived.
Romans have
There is no record there's not one record that has ever been found. Not one record that has ever been found that we can date. There's not one that we can date back to Jesus's supposed lifeline. Not one. The first ones that we have are at best a century later. At best, if that.
Those claims have been totally debunked.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have.
Yes, they have.
Even the Christian historians even the Christian believers historians will admit that we don't have anything before a century after Jesus' life. They will tell you that we have nothing.
First century, moron. It's called Josephus, big scholar. Look him up.
Josephus was a century after Jesus.
No, you don't even know who Josephus was, buddy.
Oh, he was a historian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check your notes again.
First century historian.
Just go look in the Roman record.
Even Josephus's accounts. Josephus is not someone who accounts for Jesus. He accounts for people who account for Jesus. He's telling you he's saying, hey, he's saying, hey, there's these people over here.
Those rabbis that wrote about him at the time.
He's saying there's
the Babylonian.
Yeah, where is that document? Show me. Link me to where we have that document stored.
What, you're talking about the
now we got to go on an all-out search, man. If you're interested,
you don't have it. Like, this would be a knockdown fucking argument. If Christians had this, that link would be fucking shared all over the goddamn internet. It wouldn't be.
Moron.
No, it isn't. No, it's not. Then send it to me then.
It's right at your fingertips. I want to
be debating like a faggot, like you.
You are totally wrong. And even Christian.
The honor system.
Show me one Christian historian who agrees with you. Show me one. Christian historian.
There are so many historians out there. You're straw manning again because each one of them.
Straw manning because there's not one. There's not one. Even the Christian historians will tell you that is not true. That's just not true.
We'll just give that to you to appease your ego. Okay.
We're gonna get to this. It's called preaching the historical Jesus. And guess what it says? Atheists and Christians have little common ground. However, one